leak hunt decree you're next, buddy?
For all this clamor. That is the sound of thoughts clashing.
You guys are crazy, bro. I'm not even a leaker. There will still be betas. There just won't be, you know, oh, we're getting Nova Flare on anniversary. Nihilux isn't in the first half of 4.3. There's barely gonna be any Elation characters after 4.2. Like, we're not getting any of that anymore. I mean, I'm gonna be honest. I don't know why a lot of people have said, like, my channel is gonna die. They're probably just joking, but, like, it was already like this at the beginning of Amphorius. At the beginning of Amphorius, or right before it, we had a ton of, like, some of the biggest leakers just quit the game, stop leaking, and all leaks became, like, hella unreliable, which was kind of sad. So this is basically just beginning of Ampho levels of leaks. No, I'm not talking about you guys specifically. It's like other people too. But I am sure 99% of people are joking. Hoyo goes after beta testers too? Yeah, but they don't care. Beta testers can just like delete their videos after a day or something. So it's like that's what most of the smart beta testers do. They just unlist their videos so nobody can see them after like a day or two. That's what HOS does on their Feng Huang channel. Yeah, Asheville is something for sure. Better read up on HSR lore. I'm good. Asheville getting buffed. His Eidolons definitely need a buff after E1 because they're genuinely terrible. Elsewise, maybe the charging. I could see him easily surviving beta. Like, you guys are kind of ignoring the fact that Asheville is not, like, he's going to be the strongest DPS for like one patch. And then in the next patch, we have triple elation teams, two of them. Evanesia's with EMC, and then mono elation with Silverwolf. Like, they're probably stronger than Asheville, which is probably why they made Asheville this strong. Because he isn't getting any teammates until damn near the end of version 4, apparently. Well, the people to assume Asheville isn't going to be nerfed because he shouldn't be. Like, no offense, but like, Asheville is basically what Herda and Aglaya did to 2.x characters, right? Like, this isn't any different. Asheville isn't getting any teammates for the rest of the version almost. And we're about to get 2 full Annihilation teams that are probably stronger than Asheville anyways. There's a really high chance he does not get nerfed. I'm being dead serious. This is not like significant power creep. It's power creep, but it's not significant enough for Hoyo to care. Aglaia was not this ridiculous? Yes, she was. What? Maybe not in comparison to Herta, but Aglaia, with a Sunday Ho-Ho and Robin team, was clearing at way lower costs as compared to the 2.x teams. Way lower. Let's not do revisionism now, buddy. Let's not do this. Literally the only person from 2.x who could keep up was Fei Xiao. Appreciate it. Anoxo was nerfed? Yeah, but that's different. Once again, Asheville isn't getting any teammates for nearly the rest of the version, okay? This guy is stuck with generalist supports from 2.x, 3.x for like the more than half a year. So they are overcompensating his main DPS strength so that he can last long enough and people still want to pull him. If he's weak and only a sub DPS and his main DPS performance isn't that good, and then he instantly gets power crept in the next patch by both Evanescence and Silverwolf, people are gonna be mad, rightfully so, because these Annie characters teams aren't even done. Like, this isn't even the final version of their Elation teams. They're probably getting an Elation sustain late in version 4, so it's like then they get upgraded again. He works with any FUA team, and every FUA team brings down his value. Fei Xiao needs like 6 or 7 cost against endgame content with Asheville to actually clear. Meanwhile, Asheville only needs 1 cost. Like, you are actively nerfing this guy, and he's not worth at all pulling for older main DPSs for follow-up. That's the issue. He is not made for older follow-up main DPSs. He's made for like some future one in Astropolis. Yeah, Asheville will get a stronger team when he finally gets his main DPS, but that's not going to be for a while. That's why they're making him main DPS competent. Because if they didn't, no one would pull him. They'd make 0 money in 4.1. Because that shit is literally only him. It's him for 4 weeks, and then that's it. And then we got Silverwolf, we got Evanescence, we got maybe Blade and Pearl, we got Himiko SP. Like, let's get real, okay? Yeah, there's a 1 cause 0 cycle. Well, there already was one, technically speaking, because it was with free Sparkle. But someone went out of their way to do a real 1 cause 0 cycle with Pela, Tingyan, RMC, and Asheville against Nikador. So now people can't say, oh, you know, it's like fake cost because Sparkle's free. Like, nah, they actually did do it with 1 cost. Yeah, that's the other thing. You guys need to keep in mind. Asheville vertical investment for main DPS currently is genuine buns. Like, it's actually terrible. Guy has some of the worst vertical investment I've seen in a long time. Yeah, but it's not the original Seal Solus. Like the original people who ran Seal aren't running it again. It's someone else that they gave the channel to. How's your day? Pretty solid. DG Cat has them shook. Yeah. There's a high chance that we don't get any new 5-star characters this year because they didn't say anything in the live stream. What? That's not how that works. We didn't know Don Hung PT. If it weren't for leaks, we wouldn't have known Don Hung PT would be free until damn near the patch. Yeah, I'm fine with Sigs being low jumps and damage, but I care more about Eidolons being high damage jumps. Like, Sig being lower is always better for people who don't like Eidolons and just like a character at E0S1. But for Eidolons, it matters more, in my opinion, to have good Eidolons. Well, yeah, there's no collab in this version. We aren't going to get as many new limited 5-stars as last version, obviously. Archer was an exception because of collab. Like, that's kind of obvious. So it's like -1 limited 5-star. Well, new limited 5-star -1. Because we didn't get this limited 5-star selector last version with like sparkle and stuff. I'm not saying there won't be free 5-stars. I'm saying there will probably be one less as compared to the last version. Because Archer was an exception for being a collab character. I don't think they're going to make 2 new limited 5-stars from HSR free in this version. I think they'll maybe make 1, but that's it. Golden Companion stuff is normal. We're probably going to get 2 of that every version. One on Annie and When the Planet Ends. Or I guess when the storyline ends. excited in becoming unemployed like the rest of us. I'm fine. I post the majority of leak info on community posts instead of making videos about them anyways. Yeah, we'll see what the next character they add to the token is. Kafka, Robin, and Huohuo are the best options. I could see Huohuo going in the golden token because, like, even though they're buffing her, she's a 1.x character. And they've now proven that even if you get buffed, you can still be given for free with, like, the sparkle thing. So, I think Huohuo has a pretty high chance of being added to the golden token. And because she ends up being buffed, a lot of people are probably going to pick her up. Today is a sad day. I was thinking about you, Bronte. I was thinking about you when I saw that. No more Plunderer. It's a sad day. They killing the game. Hey, you got Toon Strain, Toon Rupture, negative status, and Echo Skill damage tokens, though. Today marks the day I quit Wuwa. Haven't really played since the beginning of 3.0. Damn. That's tough, Bronte. Sad to see a legend go. Did they get rid of Plunderer because of Fro? No, they definitely got rid of Plunderer because of the free-to-play healer team. 4-star healer teams were capable of getting, like, way more than enough points for clearing. So, that's probably why they removed Plunderer. That is not the same seal leaks that used to do the leaks you're used to. It's under new management, one could say. Yeah. New tokens are boring too. Plunderer was pretty... Dude, I was in the midst of building the team for Plunderer. Like, this is the annoying part. I was literally in the midst of building it. And farming lingering tunes. Are we serious? Well, for me, leaks is more sad, obviously. Because, one, I never even got to take advantage of Plunderer. But leaks is like, we get important information that helps people's poll plans way earlier on, right? Like, someone who really wanted Yai might have pulled both Sparksy and Yao Guang, and then found out Yai doesn't even want Sparksy, and it's Silverwolf that wants Sparksy. they're stopping test servers. No, apparently a majority of people who do the test servers don't care and are gonna keep doing them. So that's fine. We still get like Hakushin updates as well, shit like that. But there is like a real possibility, depending on how much they start cracking down on this stuff, that we end up with like WUA level of leaks, where you have to rely on like a few people in a Discord drip feeding you, 10 seconds of gameplay once a week, which would be fucking terrible. I hope that shit never happens, bro. It's over if that happens, yeah. They leaked Luke so late, I'm not even gonna pull for him anymore because I quit. Oh, damn, Bronte. You don't believe in the free Luke anymore? You don't believe maybe they just, they give us the free Luke? They announce it in like a week? He will be free in 3 years after EOS. Wow. Yeah, Asheville is way better as main DPS. Anyone putting Asheville with Fei Shao or older follow-up characters is trolling meta-wise. Like, hard trolling. But, if they just want to make their older DPS better, I mean, it's understandable. I understand it. The problem Asheville has, if they wanted to make him more synergistic with some of the older characters, it's a very simple fix. His chargeability is just too slow. At the beginning, he spawns in with a ton, which is like super nice for the first rotation. But after this, his skill only regens one charge, and then his ult regens like two, I think. It's too low. It's genuinely too low. So what ends up happening is people who really know how to use a Mo's Fei Shao can actually achieve, even if it's slightly worse, similar performance because of Mo's higher frequency attacks, leading to more Fei Shao ults. The biggest problem he has as a sub DPS for older characters is just the fact that he doesn't attack frequently enough. Obviously, you wouldn't notice this issue in his main DPS because he's constantly getting action advanced and given energy so he can use his ult and his skill. But any gameplay showcase where the guy's a sub DPS, it's so scuffed. It is so fucking scuffed with the charges. Yeah, that's what I said. Ult has to be 3 and skill has to charge 2. Otherwise, it's just too mid, man. Balance, Gabby. I mean, I know he's not made for the older characters, but for people who do want him to be for the older characters, that's the change they need to do. I don't think they'll do it, but I don't think you'd use Ho as a sustain in a follow-up team. Oh yeah, I know. They probably prefer him to synergize with a future DPS. Woho would probably sustain for Silverwolf or Avanesia. Yeah, temporarily. In the future, no, though. Definitely getting replaced by Annihilation Sustain. I don't think buffed Woho will be like a Yao Guang situation where like they're a mainstay. You guys need to understand. Okay. Asheville is not broken. I know that's probably crazy for me to say to you guys, given the current showcases he's getting, but this is like normal. And to be honest, this kind of more so follows the pattern that HSR has had with their first DPS of a new version. So like in like at face value, he's broken. If you look at the past history of this game, he just follows the same path. Like he's stronger than all the previous version DPSs. The only reason Sparksy and Yao Guang is in power creep is because they're getting hard fucking nerfed by not having a third elation. So we think Asheville is strong, and he is strong in comparison to the current roster. But the second we go into 4.2, I guarantee you, Silverwolf's team of Sparksy Yao Guang is going to be significantly stronger than even Asheville. I think that is a very high chance. So, as unfortunate as it is that we prayed we wouldn't get any power creep because of Sparksy, the reality is we're definitely getting power creep and HP inflation. This is actually probably why, people called out that there's actually some 4.1 HP inflation. This is probably why. They're like bracing people for the Annie characters in Asheville, basically. He will be nerfed. I mean, it's unlikely, man. Like, you guys don't think, bro, marketing wise. You guys really don't think. They're going to nerf him, make his main DPS significantly weaker. And on top of this, he's not going to get any future supports for his main DPS. He's not going to get any of his best in slot teammates until near the end of version 4. I mean, no offense, but like, you guys would make terrible marketers at Hoyoverse if you think a character like that would sell, especially with a 4-week patch. Like, they are making Asheville as strong as he is because they need to sell this guy somehow, right? Like, if he wasn't this strong, he would genuinely sell triple cardboard. And they just had a patch or like a month revenue with less than 10 milli because it was pure reruns. Asheville's best Lycone isn't Fei Xiao's. Fei Xiao's Lycone defense shred only applies on ultimate damage. The guy's ultimate does like no fucking damage. It's all the follow-ups that do the damage. I'm pretty sure ratio cone is better on him. At least in high defense shred teams, which is easy if you run him with like Pela, E1 May, Cypher, characters like that. Topaz's light cone is also close. Like, he doesn't have big light cone jumps. His ultimate does huge amounts of damage. That's not his ultimate, though. That's his follow-ups after his ultimate, depending on how much gluttony he stacked up. Like, the ultimate is the first animation. You can tell when something's a follow-up when it goes to his eyes. Like, when it goes to his eye animation, everything after is going to be a follow-up. Yeah, I know the ult enhances it, but it doesn't count as ultimate damage, which is the requirement on Fei Xiao's Lycone. It specifically says you need to do ultimate damage, and only ultimate damage gets this defense shred, which is like the fat ass defense shred on Fei Xiao's Lycone. But Ratio's cone is, I believe, purely follow up, which is why like a lot of people are complaining, you know, oh, why is this guy in his showcases using Ratio cone? It's because the guy mainly does follow up damage. So, I do think Ratio Cone is possibly better than Fei Xiao's. He's not getting his damage nerfed, guys. You guys are genuinely insane. Like, what? They won't make money off him if he isn't this strong. You guys need to understand this. They won't make any money. If what Anon Leaks said is true, this guy isn't getting his DPS until fucking like 4.6. You know what I'm saying? Like, you think anybody's gonna pull this character if they nerf him and make both his sub DPS and his main DPS nothing special? Let's be honest, bro. Let's be honest. Like, he already has some of the most buns Eidolons I've ever seen in the history of the game. That shit is like, I genuinely wonder if Saber and Archer have a bigger E0 to E6 jump as compared to Asheville. Shit is absolutely embarrassing. He's doing one cost with 3 4-stars? Who cares? That's normal. For every single DPS on their release, this is normal. Herda did it. Eggy did it. Phaedon did it. Archer did it. Cassie did it. Evernight did it. Everybody has done a 1 cost 0 cycle on their release. Who cares? Did he? Sparksy? Yeah, because she doesn't have her team. Getting Gabby agitated? It's like, I feel like people in this chat have never looked at character strength in previous leaks for like longer than a few patches. Because there's no other way you can explain this. Like, 1 cost 0 cycles when a new DPS drops is common. Like, it's genuinely a common occurrence. It happens more often than not. Also, his 1 cost 0 cycle against Nikador is purely his best boss matchup. Okay? Yes, he gets the same thing against Cocolia, the current Cocolia in the MOC. That is impressive, right? He does have high damage. But what I'm saying is this isn't the significant power creep people think it is. If it weren't for him being able to target Nikador's spears, that cost instantly goes up, and his ability to clear is now around the same as like Dot Team, right? Dot Team, Evernight, like characters like that. You know what I'm saying? It's just because he can abuse the spears so well that he can get that low cost zero cycle on Nikador. Cassie didn't one cost zero cycle. She did. Anoxa did. Herda did. Eggy did. What? Why are you just lying? Cocolia has less than half the HP of Nikador. Obviously. Like, I can just tell when people here were not there when shit like this was going on. Especially Herda. Herda actually got one cost zero cycles for multiple patches. Those are main DPS compared to an intended sub DPS. An intended sub DPS who doesn't sub DPS any of the older follow up characters, and his sub DPS is probably only dedicated for one main DPS in like fucking over half a year later. Like, who cares? Evernight's a sub DPS. Sparksy's a sub DPS. Anoxa's, they've clearly taken a different direction, man. You can be both a main DPS and a sub DPS. This doesn't mean you're gonna get your shit nerfed to the ground. Anoxa did do it. What is this revisionism? He did. Oh my god. Oh, fuck. He's not surviving. Cut the copium tubes. Holy shit, bro. Is chat rage baiting? What you think is rage bait, Uni, 99% of the time, they're being dead ass. Like, they genuinely think Hoyo's trying to make this guy sell triple cardboard. Like, they don't think... The problem with my chat is they always look at things in face value. They don't at all try to put their shoes in the place of Hoyo. Because if you were in the place of Hoyo, you would make a sole one new limited character patch the last 4 weeks with a male who isn't getting any of his teammates until near the end of the version, and then nerf him so that he's not special in main DPS and he's an underwhelming sub DPS buff for all older main DPSs. On top of this, has 1.x Eidolon investment outside of his E1 being good. Yeah, that guy, he's gonna sell exceptionally. Exceptionally. Beautiful sales. At least 100 milli. Yeah, and how many sales did Cypher get? And Cypher has the bonus of being a woman. So she sells more anyways. How many sales did Cypher get? Let's be honest. Most of 3.3 sales went to Hyacine instead of Cypher. Let's just get fucking real. Okay? Because most people pulled Cassie. They wanted that HP scaling sustain. That went with all the older characters. 3.4 characters were getting buffed into HP scalers who also wanted Hyacine. And that patch didn't even have like the craziest of sales. Asheville would genuinely sell triple cardboard. Can't Asheville work with almost any DPS? At E0, it's kind of eh. At E1, though, yes. He can just be used as like a sitting duck on a team to provide vulnerability and defense down. But at E0, it's like, you can legit just use Pela. Pela can technically be better than Asheville. Generally. No, yeah, exactly. Like, the more they sell you on Asheville, the more money they make from indecisive people who also want Annie characters. And they're more, like, tempted to spend money. Like, you guys need to remember, who was the highest value unit in 3.x who dropped in the patch right before the anniversary? It was Tribby. You know what I'm saying? Like, they want to put someone good behind the anniversary to steal your fucking doubloons and pressure you to spend money on the anniversary to get more characters. Hyacine? Yes, Hyacine. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. They also baited some people. I remember having heated debates about this shit and trying to tell people, no, my day is not going to be for Cassie in a duo DPS team. Genuinely, Hoyo had a lot of people convinced that Cassie's intended team was supposed to be duo DPS with my day. And I like, people genuinely believed that shit back then. Okay, Khaled, let's look at the positives for Hoyo if they keep him the same as he currently is, and then the negatives if they nerf him, right? So, the negatives, if Hoyo nerfs him, he's going to lose a lot more attention. People are going to feel less incentivized to pull him because of the upcoming Annie DPSs of Evanescence and Silverwolf, right? He's already a solo man patch in the first place, with it only being 4 weeks. So, you know, if they don't catch him and entice the player quick, they obviously aren't going to really sell them on Asheville. On top of this, he isn't getting any teammates until near the end of the version, meaning he's not even going to be worth picking up on a rerun within 3 to 4 patches either. He has some of the worst vertical investment in the entirety of the game, barely buffs the older follow-up DPSs because he has terrible synergy with them. And so now, not only is his main DPS kind of normal, but his sub DPS is trash for any older characters, right? Now, let's talk about everything positive that happens if he stays the same for Hoyo. People buy him. They make the 2 Elation DPSs on the anniversary stronger than him anyways, because we're now going to have EMC and 2 Elation main DPSs. People are willing to invest into his E1 for his future team or temporarily run him hyper carry, get some use out of their older general supports they don't use as much anymore, and people genuinely feel incentivized to say, hey, you know, this is a solid pickup, a future investment. This guy's like Bitcoin. There is zero negatives to if Asheville currently makes it to live, and there is a ton of negatives for them if they nerf his main DPS. Like, it's just like a blunder if they do nerf him. It's a huge blunder. I thought most people just use DDD on Sparkle. Pulling Sparkle Sig in the Big 26 is wild. Why didn't they put some other character for 4.1 and move him to later patches? Because if you have to make a rushed patch because you delayed one previously for certain reasons, are you going to put an actual very popular character you want to milk as much money out of? Or are you going to put arguably the least popular character among your entire drip market to take the hit? Like, let's just be honest. Asheville is easily the least popular of that entire like drip market with Nihilux, Blade, Evanescia, Silverwolf, and all those characters. He has DOVA, so VA is barely changing anything, bro. Oh shit. Um, Man, it's actually crazy seeing how dry this account is after going to my older accounts. Holy fuck. Oh my fucking goodness. Mm. Why are there 158 people watching? Probably because a bunch of leakers quit and I cover leak content. Leaker is gone, it's cooked, it is, Ulza, it is. You think Blade SP will be the My Day of V4? I don't know, to be honest. I'm supposed to make a video on this at some point, but Hoyo has taken a pretty different direction with a lot of characters in V4 where they make them dual role so that even if their main DPS falls off, like they have another team that's stronger as a sub DPS. Which is genuinely the best thing they could have ever possibly done, in my opinion.
With this divine power, I reforge all things. Insanity. With this divine power, I reforge all things.
Fortnite collab will save Blade. Go. Sparksy's not main DPS though. I mean, you can run her main DPS. What? Sparksy can still be ran main DPS 100%. Especially once that Elation sustain comes out in fucking 2027. She'll finally be able to get the 3 Elation trace over with. In her own main DPS. Oh no, she could do it with EMC. You might have to go sustainless though. We'll see. We'll see what EMC does. It's hard to make up for the skill point eatage of Sparksy without Sparkle. Will you stream HSR Fortnite collab? No, probably not. I don't care about it that much. I only play Fortnite with my friends for the most part. I don't really go out of my way to play it on my own time anymore. Well, yeah, there is that, Khaled, but like at the same time, I don't know. Also, Sparksy's E2 investment isn't the worst. Like, having her Lycone does increase her E2 investment. It's like, if I remember correctly, her E0 to E2, I think is maybe like a 70 to 80% upgrade with her Lycone. Which, it's not the greatest, but it's good enough, in my opinion. It's solid enough. So, like, if you don't want to get E0 S1 Silverwolf, and you want to keep running her main DPS, just like slap on an EMC, get her E2, you're probably clearing. Also, you have E1 Yao Guang there as well. I forgot about that. E1 Yao Guang is really strong. I thought you said Sparksy didn't need Sparkle with Yao. No. I said in a team with Silverwolf. Listen, okay? Listen. There is a big difference between there being no action advancer on the team versus constantly action advancing Sparksy to consume like 8 skill points in a row. If you are giving Sparksy extra turns, then yes, it's going to be a lot more of a struggle, okay, without Buff Sparkle. And keep in mind, that's Buff Sparkle plus Yao Guang. Like, you need those two to compensate for her SP eatage. For someone who wants to go to the Silverwolf route, you think Yao E1, Sparksy E0 would be optimal? Yeah, exactly, Aiden. Yeah. That is probably the most optimal investment. E1 Yao is super strong. Sparksy doesn't really need her Lycone at all. And Yao Guang can go with her out her Lycone as well. ERGen? Nope.
Be grateful for all this clamor. That is the sound of thoughts clashing.
Oh. I need to use a little more energy. Won't her E2 be better once we get a third elation? Why would it be? I don't remember what it is. It an extra turn every Aha instant? I mean, if you don't have any skill points, whenever you take a turn, there's still going to be an issue. E2, Sparksy gains an extra turn when Aha instant ends in 2 thrill. Yeah. Like, she's still gonna have skill point issues, to be honest, the faster Aha instants go.
With this divine power, I reforge all things.
She'll get buffed overall, yes, but it's not like a significant buff, in my opinion.
Soaring above the lands, this is permanent. I'll endure. It's of no consequence. To the soul. Insanity.
Oh yeah, by the way, I should mention,
This divine power,
depending
things.
on... Okay. Yeah. Depending on Silverwolf and how much punchline she wants on her ult, it's also possible E1 Sparksy could be E1 Yao Guang level. Right? So, I've been flaming Sparksy's E1 since it originally released, because it's literally just 15% res pen, which, like, that is way worse than, like, an Evernight E1 or Asheville E1. But since Anon's last leak, you know, rest in peace, but thank you for leaving us with this, was that Silverwolf uses punchline for her ultimate. When Aha instant ends, Sparksy gains 5 punchline with her E1. So, it's not only res pen, but, dude, like, you get a lot of Aha instants with 3 elation, and she'll get an extra 5 punchline every single time that goes. So there is a chance E1 Sparksy is E1 Yao Guang level specifically for Silverwolf's team.
With this divine power, I reforge all things.
Yao Guang buffs seem pretty weak. No, they aren't. And plus, it's not just buffs, man. Like, oh. She's 18 skill point positive in a team with Silverwolf and Sparksy and 300 AV. Name me another third slot that even comes up to half of that. Plus, she has the highest damage output of any third slot in the game, even Cyrene. Is E1 Yao Guang worth it? Yeah. Yeah, Uni. Are we still getting beta? Yeah. Beta is data mining. You guys need to understand that. Like, leaks is, once again, leaks is, you know, what Anon does of telling us what Evanesia's best in slot team is going to be when we're, like, more than 2 patches away. That's leaks. Beta is data mining. Technically, it's also leaks, but, like, there's nothing they can do about it. People will just go into the game's files, make a private server with it, and boom, you know, people can make beta gameplay. Yeah, outside of Elation, obviously Yao Guang, like, Yao Guang isn't meant for outside of Elation. To be honest, you can still use her on a few teams from what I've seen. It ain't optimal, but you can use her. But, like, this character ain't made for... It's like putting Cyrene outside of Chrysos Air teams. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can use it, but it sure as hell ain't recommended. Some guy copied what you said about Yao Guang on Sparksy mains, where they're coping Yao isn't best in slot with Sparksy in the Silverwolf team, and people kept flaming him saying, "Did you copy this from a certain YouTuber?" No, I am that YouTuber. I am the one that posted that on their Reddit. That's my Reddit account. Because I'd seen them doom posting Yao Guang for multiple days saying Sparkle's going to be best in slot for Silverwolf. So I went more in depth on that Reddit post than I did on my YouTube one. And the response I got mainly back was Yao Guang is going to get replaced by a Elation support with higher SP gen than Yao Guang. Right? They're like, oh, we're going to get an SP Elation support that replaces Yao Guang. Keep in mind, once again, Yao Guang is a third slot AoE buffer who in her best team with Silverwolf can generate 18 skill points worth in a 0 cycle. And they're saying they're going to power creep the SP positivity of this Yao Guang, make some fucking support, I don't know, that generates 30 skill points, has better AoE buffing, generates punchline. That was their another complaint they brought up. She needs to generate punchline, generate 30 SP. She needs to have higher damage. She needs to have better buffing. These people are trying to create fucking Thanos. They're trying to create an isekai MC. Yeah, exactly, Bronte. It's like these people don't use their brains. Even if, you know, they do a Yao Guang replacement, they sure as hell ain't doing it before Yao Guang gets her rerun on 4.3. You know what I'm saying? And then even if this support does exist, does come out, right? Do you understand how much stronger than Yao Guang they exactly have to be for it to be even worth pulling them over just grabbing E1 Yao Guang, who is like a 30% buff towards the entire team? You know what I'm saying? Like, the power creep would have to be so egregious and so quick that I dead ass quit the game. People said the same thing about Tribby. Yeah, but the difference is, Zolza, I was always telling people, like, I used to get flamed on my channel for telling people Tribby will not stay in the casters team. I do agree. I also thought E1 Tribby could end up competing with Cyrene. In some scenarios, maybe. In most scenarios, no. Right? Especially if you have Evernight for, like, Mono Rem. If you don't have Evernight, I can see it, but, you know, it goes both ways. But, like, Tribby not being best in slot for Cassie was always obvious, in my opinion, because she was of the Herda support. I never thought she was staying in that team anyways. But seeing Cyrene be stronger than E1 Tribby did surprise me, I'm not going to lie. I feel like, though, Yao Guang is a different case scenario, Zolza, because it's like, Tribby doesn't have any gimmicks, right? Like, technically, her only gimmick that made people think she'd be really good for Cassie team with the E1 is the fact that it helped them, since they're all AoE damage dealers, focus the damage on a single target boss, right? But when you look at Yao Guang, she has elation damage specific buffing. So it's like you can't even really put her outside of elation teams meta-wise, right? Her E1 is only for elation. She has all this SP positivity. She has an AHA instant, elation specific once again, that only she can activate through ult to generate more skill points and do more damage. It's like she has the gimmicks already. So I think it's really hard to power creep a character like this. Show your E2 Firefly account to Zolza. I'm good. I'll do my dailies later. She's probably best in slot for the Yai team. I think she's a Cyrene, Zolza. I genuinely think Yao Guang is a Cyrene for relation. And every single DPS is going to fight over Yao Guang. I think the only other relation character we're definitively getting is a sustain. And the rest is like up in the air. Yeah, Bronte. It's a Firefly account, Dot account, Archer account. Also has Saber. Why are people Doom posting 4.0 rewards? I don't know. It's probably because of ZZZ's recent patch rewards. Which, like, to be honest, I don't blame anyone. Like, if you're using ZZZ as the standard, and you play ZZ, yeah, ZZ has higher pull count. Especially in the most recent patch. But HSR has always been as consistent as you can possibly get with its pull counts. They've been within the 90 to max 125 range for like the past year or two. I can see some people crying on 4.2 wanting a Yao Guang rerun. Well, don't worry, HSR, they'll rerun Yao Guang in 4.3 anyways. So, they always rerun meta characters after 3 patches if they have a best in slot around that time. Just wait till 4.3. Bam, Yao Guang Sparksy rerun, because those two are probably best in slot for Silverwolf. What is Plunderer for Weewa? Plunderer is a buff token in which healing ticks from characters on your team would let out electro damage against enemies. So you wouldn't think much of it, but people found out that you can make a team full of healers, build electro damage bonus on them, and put them on a specific set, and you could turn them into a team capable of destroying Whimpering Wastes, and it was free to play friendly. So a lot of people, including me, thought they would eventually get rid of this at some point, but at some point, like I'd say probably last patch, I was like, hey, maybe they actually are fine with Plunderer being in the game, but now they removed it. So a patch or two ago, they removed Wheel Scam, which also made it a lot easier to clear Weewa with characters that had big nuke hits, and now they've also removed this. So they're basically trying to get rid of all the so-called cheese strats for clearing Whimpering Wastes and lock people to pulling teams and characters, which is kind of sad. Oh, really, Bronte? I mean, dude, the Elation team is going to be the most disgusting power creep this game has ever seen. I'm sorry. Like, they have their own turns to do damage. They all have their own ults. And then they also have their own Elation skills where everybody goes. In a mono Elation team, keep in mind, right now, we only have 2 characters who can participate in an Elation skill. In the future, it's going to be 4, And because of Aha Instance increased speed, there's going to be more Aha Instance as well. Beating Monorem doesn't seem feasible. I think it's pretty feasible, Zolza. I don't know. Although I did see Zolza just randomly scrolling through Twitter. Someone got their hands on the beta and did the plight mode of the new AA against the new Pom Pom boss with full E6S5 Monorem and it's 0 AV'd. So if you're a whale with Monorem, it's still going strong. I mean, we haven't seen Silverwolf yet, Zolza. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say. We ain't seen Silverwolf yet. Silverwolf could change everything. Any unit will always be shilled. It's not just shilling, but like they should be absolutely disgusting damage wise. I can't visualize a vertical Monorem losing. I don't know, Zolza. I don't know. They've made Sparksies E1 and E2 both synergize with Silverwolf for Punchline. Yao Guang wait, what is Yao Guang's E2? I've never even heard anything about Yao Guang's E2. What the hell is it? Increase all allies' speed by 12% and elation by 16%. Oh, okay. So it's a speed buff and elation buff. E1 increases Aha instant damage on her ult and 20% defense ignore. Oh, wow. Wait, why does she actually... Oh, never mind. I got baited again. It's only for her ult, Aha instant, but it increases everybody's elation skill damage by 50% multiplier. Wait, her E6 is really strong, though. I don't know. Like, this vertical investment looks incredibly strong. What is Sparksy's E6? Is it just like main DPS like Evernight, or... Sparksy E6 is for every one punchline. Oh, up to 40 instances of additional damage depending on punchline. That's a pretty big E6 too. And this is considering we don't have a main DPS yet. Like technically, no dedicated main DPS for Elation in the game until 4.2. And then we also have an Elation sustain still to go. Probably near the end of version 4. Doesn't speed buff on everyone increase Aha speed too? Yes. The more speed you have on your Elation characters, the faster Aha will become. So speed buffs actually do matter quite a bit. Monorem without its main DPS is still the best low coster Evernight. I agree, but like low key, couldn't Silverwolf do this? Zolza, like theoretically with possibly an EMC Yao Guang E0-0 combo. And then, I don't know, fucking whoever in the 4 slot. Depends on EMC's punchline gen. If EMC has like no punchline gen, then yeah, I'm not gonna lie, he's kind of a scam. But I doubt they'd make EMC that bad of a replacement. He's got to have some punchline gen, just not Sparksy level. Do you think Silverwolf is going to sustainless till we get another elation? Well, she doesn't need to sustainless at all. But for her best in slot team for the most damage possible, yeah. No, I agree, Zolza. I agree. I think RMC's general value and how valuable he is alongside Cyrene for so many Ampho teams, like, I don't think EMC is going to be worth over RMC because it's seeming like EMC isn't generalist true damage buffer. He's an elation damage buffer from the Herda Shop Cone. So, like, obviously, people still use EMC, but not RMC levels of value. I actually remember having like a serious discussion on stream with someone here like a few months back because I was arguing how RMC probably isn't going to get power crept by the next one. And my chat was like 50-50 with me or against me. RMC might still hold the crown, man. They might still hold the crown. Herder Shop Lycone is out. Oh yeah, Zolza. I can read it right now because I'm already on Haku. The Herder Shop Lycone increases. Oh wait, no, S5. Increases wearer's attack by 40% after the wearer uses their skill or ultimate on one ally character. Increases the target's elation stat by 24% for 2 turns. That is the Herder Shop Cone in 4.1. EMC attack scaler 2, yeah. That's for EMC? Yeah. If you take Anon's word, we aren't going to get a new elation limited unit for fucking forever. And we don't have any elation support in the game who targets one ally on alter skill. So there's no other question about it. It's basically EMC's cone. If only we could use multiple MCs, that would be game changing. Genuinely. I don't say that lightly. Being able to use multiple of like the different MCs would be absolutely game changing. Yeah, HMC is still pretty good. Physical MC usable? I mean, wheelchair with Dahlia? Maybe. Yeah, exactly. That's why they'll never do it though. EMC is way too good. Or just MCs in general. Ever since Penacony. They've been making the mole meta. Fire MC actually saved me in the recent event. Sustain check almost made my account lose. Oh really? You use Fire MC? Oh wow. Yeah, anomaly arbitration is... It's that mode where they really stress the sustain. And an event. Jeez. Oh, I see. The recent event. Yeah. I didn't even fully clear that on any of my accounts. I just went for like the starter Jades and then didn't bother with the nightmare version, I think. As a no sustain enjoyer, I don't like AA. Understandable. Oh, by the way, Zulza, I wanted to ask you, since you're like the dot person, can E1 Swan compete with like an E0S0 Siren? Like, on average, right? Not trying to like min-max or anything. Like, can E1 Swan do it, or is Siren still better anyways? I've heard Siren is especially better for AA bosses. Yeah, she can? Oh, okay. Alright. Because I am building a dot team on one of my accounts now. It has E1 Kafka, the S1, which we don't talk about, and it also has an E0 S1 Swan currently. So, I'm looking to get Heislands, and then trying for her E1 as well, maybe. And we'll see how that goes. Even E0 Swan beats Siren RMC on one-phase bosses, like Lygus and Svarog. Oh, okay. What about second phase? What about second phase? I also got Kafka's S1. Regardless, the opportunity cost is extremely high with Swan because you open up both Siren and RMC for crit DPS. Yeah, that's a good point, yeah. There's a lot of DPSs that want Siren RMC. Evernight. Anoxa. E1 Black Swan is good? Yeah. I'm going to get E0 S1 Yao Guang and Sparksy, then invest more after I get Silverwolf to her good Eidolons. Good luck on that. My Siren RMC is with Hyacine and Cassie, though. I mean, that's fine. I just mentioned Evernight and Noxa because they're like probably the best abusers of having Siren RMC, aside from Monorem. What do you think the Asheville nurse will be? Probably like the first half hour of this stream, Milpy, was me saying I don't think Asheville is getting nerfed. I think they're just going to make the two Elation teams stronger on 4.2 anyways. And because this guy's like been thrown to the dogs for a 4-week long patch, they are purposely making him this strong because otherwise he'd sell triple cardboard. If they do nerf him, though, at max, I see, like, maybe an Anoxa nerf. What was it, like 15% or something overall? 10-15%? I don't see it being anything too significant. I don't think he needs to be nerfed, though. Just my opinion. It's totally not, by the way, because, like, I have a secret 4th account in the back that might possibly go for E1 Asheville with E1 S1 Sunday with Buff Sparkle or E1 Rob. That's not a thing, you know what I'm saying? Why would you ever question that? You just want your Silverwolf to be stronger? Shh. That's not the case at all. He needs buffs. I agree. His charge ability is garbage and needs to be buffed. His Eidolons after E1, incredibly underwhelming, needs to be reworked. And his base kit, honestly, completely fine. Gotta make it to live. You don't think they would keep him like that? You just wish they would? No, I genuinely think they're going to keep him like that. Like, I know I may sound sarcastic, and sometimes I am, but I genuinely believe he isn't getting nerfed. Because this is normal. This is what Acheron did as the first main DPS of version 2. She just fucking... She probably got 1 cost 0 cycles for multiple patches. So did Firefly. So did Fei Xiao. Most of the break DPSs. On top of this, you have Herta Agi. They also did this. Multiple DPSs after them also did this as well. This isn't really, like, new. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not really new. To be honest, this is what I expected for Sparksea to get. This is what I expected Sparksea to get. In terms of power, when she first dropped. But they obviously made her as a sub DPS, and Elation is getting nerfed without 3 or more Elation characters, which holds her back. Firefly did not get shit 0 cycles. I swear I remember when her patch dropped, she did get like a 1 cost 0 cycle. I swear she did. With Pela HMC and someone else. It was with Shilling, but it was still a 1 cost 0 cycle. I made a 1 cost 0 cycle on first choir. Yeah, that one, Zolza, that one. But second choir was impossible already, despite it still shilling her. E2 diff. Actually, now that I realize it, why does Zolza have so much hate for E2 merchants? Is this the common occurrence? It's just the E2 merchants? It's just a coincidence. E0 Firefly is the best DPS in the game. Evernight is an E2 merchant. I love her. I guess that's true, yeah. That is true. She is okay with Evernight? Yeah, I just thought of that. I remember when I first glazed E2 Evernight. Dude, most people thought I was, like, high. They genuinely thought E2 Evernight was mid. It took, I think, probably until 3.7, late 3.7, for people to finally, like, come around and realize for the most part, oh, like, this E2 is Phanon level. Her E2 is stupid. Why does that shit even exist, man? It's like, for Phanon, it makes more sense, right? Listen, Phanon has a shit ton of flaws, right? His base kit has a ton of flaws. I won't disagree. I think he's strong enough, and I think his E2 is amazing. So that's why I still glaze Phanon sometimes. But Evernight is like, she already has a very low amount of flaws, already pretty free-to-play friendly because of being able to use RMC. And then she also has this E2 investment with significantly stronger E1. And then she can also have way better performance with sustain. Evernight is the DPS of 3.x. At least at, you know, relatable cost. For most people. Whale territory, sure, you know, monorem, whatever. Phanon needs a Nova Flare? They removing Plunderer? Yeah, Plunderer is gone. And then next week we'll reset. Which character doesn't get Doom posted in HSR? It's actually a very recent one. Dahlia. Dahlia had the most calm beta I've ever experienced in my history of following leaks. Which Like, that's a long time. Holy voice crack. That's a long, long time. About a year and a half. It's crazy that Evernight dominates at low cost, only to segue into Calamity grade mono Rem team at high cost. Rem monopolizing both sides. Yeah. We'll never get a team like that again. Elation can never. Hey. You never know, Zolza. You never know. Asheville isn't being doom posted. No, it's actually the opposite. People are like glazing Asheville and saying that he's surely getting nerfed, but I don't think he's getting nerfed. Because if he gets nerfed, it's like he's genuinely selling for nothing, bro. People are just going to wait till the Annie. Or they're going to wait for Blade. They're going to wait for probably Himiko. Like characters like that. They wouldn't give a shit about Asheville if they nerfed him. I mean, then again, I'm sure a lot of Asheville hype is like recency bias, and people are instantly gonna fold the second 4.2 beta comes out in 4.1 and change their minds. But like still, like people are gonna see main push Annie animations that probably power creep all previous characters again, and go like, oh my goodness, I need to pull this Silver Wolf, bro. Like this happens every time. If a character has good animations, sometimes even the haters will just come around. Is 4.2 beta before 4.0 possible? Maybe. I can't say anything definitively because like they can just speed up their beta progress during 4.12 to make up for it. But if they don't do that, then yeah, we should get a glimpse into 4.2 beta probably a few days before 4.1. Kind of like right now, right? Like Asheville beta has been out for what, like 2 days? And we're still on this patch for another 2 days, so or 1 day, whatever. E1 Sparkle or E1 Ceridra? E1 Ceridra. It's a norm we get animation leaks before the patch. Nah, not really. That wasn't really normal. I think it's only this time. Because beta started earlier than normal this time. Since this patch is stretched. Or technically it started later. However you want to say it. But yeah. We are only 10 weeks away from Annie. 2.5 months. Can't wait. Oh yeah, E2 Sparkle is pretty nice. I was talking about like Asheville optimal vertical investment a little bit ago. It's probably like E2 Sparkle, E1 Sunday, E1 E2 Don Hung, E1 Asheville. Something like that. I think that hits him with a 100% defense shred. Even without needing Quantum Week. You got 16 from Sunday, 40 from himself. His Lycone gives like 12. And then you have E2 Sparkle adding 30. So that's like 98% or something. No, his E2 seems to be really mid right now. It is legit, from what I've seen, the worst E2, maybe even in the history of the game. Shit is some buns. It's really only his E1 that's worth getting. Will Asheville use E1 Tribby? You can. It's also decently nice because, like, Tribby's follow ups will trigger his follow ups. But I believe his current strongest team is double AA with Sparkle Sunday. Could be wrong, though. Oh, you think so, Zolza? Yeah. His vertical investment really ain't, it's questionable after E1, bro. It is so questionable. I don't know. I'm sure the Eidolons will get reworked, though. Eidolons are, like, the most common thing to get reworked in a beta almost every single time. Yes, his E1 is way more valuable than getting his Lycone. Yeah, the E2 is genuinely buns, man. Like, I couldn't believe my eyes, by the way. I genuinely couldn't believe my eyes when I was scrolling Twitter, ran into a calc for his Eidolon investment, and I saw the E2 image, and I thought it was like maybe an E1. Maybe it was the E4. Like, what do you mean 11% increase? 11? 11? Are we serious? They need to put it in base kit like what they did to Heislands? We'll see. E2 just needs to get buffed plain. 11? Yeah, 11%. People have already done calcs, Drake. The difference is, people already knew, like, in calcs, Evernight E6 looks good. Casterus E2 looks good in calcs as well. Like, Casterus E0 to E2 is like 80 to 90%. Like, these things show in the calcs. For the calcs for Asheville, his E2 is buns. It is genuine buns. Actually, I think I have a picture of it. I want to see how much his increase is all the way from E0 to E6. I have it somewhere here. Yeah, okay. So E1, 28%. E2, 11%. E4, 17%. E6, 52%. So that's 39, 56, 50, a 100. He becomes twice as strong from E. That's worse than the collab characters. What? 108% from E0 to E6? That is worse than the collab characters, I think. I just need to check, bro. There's no way. Where's Archer? Archer has the worst E6 investment, so like Archer from E0 to E6 is 2.5x. It's more than Asheville. So even compared to the worst vertical investment characters in V3, his vertical investment is still weaker. Actually, let's compare it to Seal. I'm going to go to Seal real quick. Before she gets buffed. Because then her Eidolons will probably be stronger. Seal from E0 to E6 becomes 80% stronger. You're telling me this guy's only 20% ahead of a Seal E6? Try not to laugh challenge. Yeah, like, it's just terrible. His only good Eidolon is E1, and then to some extent E6. It's like a kind of normal E6. The rest is... Wow. E2 being the lowest jump is actually, like, so non-Honkai Star Rail-like. You're harsh. Compare him with Dr. Ratio? Sure, I'll compare his Eidolons with Ratio. Where is he? Ratio's E0 to E6 is bigger than Asheville's. Ratio's is 145% stronger from E0 to E6. Asheville's is 108. How do you see these? Pridewin. Pridewin has calcs for old characters if you just go to the calculation section. How many pulls on average for E2S1? I think it's like 400 something. 3 or 400 something. There's like a website for this. You can just search up HSR pull calculator. Yeah, warp calculator. That's what it is. So I want 2 copies of the character, 0 pity. Oh wait, no, E2 is 3, sorry. And then I want 1 copy of the Lycombe banner, 0 pity, no guarantees. And then do 10,000 simulations. Warps, I guess put it on 400 so we can see. So what are the chances that 400 pulls gets you an E2S1? Let's see. 78%. Okay. So let me drop it to 360. 62. Let me try 330. 50%. So 330 pulls gives you a 50% chance of being able to afford an E2S1. Yeah, this includes the refund, by the way, I'm pretty sure, on these poll calculators. Himiko flagship will beat Elation. What if Himiko flagship is break, Solza? What would we think of that? They're coming for me, guys. They found me. They found all my videos. Why do you think Firefly is getting buffed? What do you... What? Anon already made a post about the 4.2 Nova Flares. Like 1 or 2 days before he quit. The 4.2 Nova Flares are Seal, Firefly, Huo, and Welt. You're about to get sued? Chill, chill. Firefly shouldn't even get a buff. For my own agenda, she should. They'll move her E2 into base kit and then make the E2 so that she gets an extra turn every turn. So there's no more cooldown on it. Bam. Insane. Insane. Oh yeah, Firefly without Dahlia is like... In fairness, Dahlia... Or sorry, Firefly without Dahlia is just a subpar character. Like really, really bad. Like people look at the Dahlia performance with her and are like, oh, you know, she doesn't need a buff. But like... You know what I'm saying? Firefly without Dahlia is the worst DPS. I don't know, Zoza. I don't know about worst. But yeah, it's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. Even Arlon clowns Dahlia-less Firefly. Oh my god. The slander's out in full force. Wait, Zolza, are you, I assume you of all people would probably take advantage of it. Are we gonna see a resurgence of the Seal Zero cycles when she gets buffed? Well, obviously it depends on how strong the buffs are, but... I remember when, like, I think you got into beef with Tectone once because you did the Zero cycle on Nikador and stuff with, like, low cost. And back then, Tectone was like trying to say HSR was impossible to clear with older characters. Firefly E2 without Dahlia is stronger than the other E2 breaks without Dahlia. She doesn't need a buff. For my own agenda, she does. True, but it was on Sam? Ah, I see. Early 2.x? Oh, I see. Good times. I also saw something. He said you used an AI voice back then, I think. It's like, oh, this person using an AI voice to attract the Sims or something. Oh my goodness. That shit was funny. Power creep doesn't exist in HSR? True. Oh, it was 2 of them. Gabi Maru e-girl voice changer when? I'm good, bro. I'm good. Listen, listen. Those days are behind me. For the agenda, Himiko will be a sub DPS. What? X game doesn't have power creep proof. A video of a run I know I can't replicate. Yep, that's how you fight power creep allegations. Show them buff seal. Think about it. Think about it. On the 3rd anniversary, right? Because the Nikador, oh my god. Oh, I hope Zolza can do it, bro. 3 years into the game of seal, and then she gets that low cost clear against Nikador again. That would be fucking generational. If 3 years later, buff seal can do that shit, hey, you know, we can use that agenda to fight that this game has no power creep for the next 2 years at least. Generational. Nikador is 100% there to also shill buff seal? Yeah, probably. Archer over buff seal? I don't know, man. This game has a pretty good history with buffing DPSs outside of Jing Liu. It's actually crazy to think Seal might be stronger than the collab characters. Imagine they remove Resurgence from Seal Kit. Nah, there's no way. There's no way. That's just a nerf then. That's just a nerf. There's no point. They gotta keep the Resurgence. It's important to her kit. It's like her entire gimmick. I don't think Evanesia's break anyways. Because her league team is with Woho. Why would Woho be on a break team? Does Elation only have the 3-star light cone? Is it trash? Aside from the useless hurt? No, there are 4-star Elation cones in 4.0. Archer over buff seal? Hey, listen. It's just the history of this game's buffs, man. They're really strong, okay? Also, the fact you could just lose to seal from losing 50-50s is also nice. Like, she's just sitting here. I haven't even done anything. Think about it. This character, stronger than Archer right here. You guys are seeing it right now. Jing Liu buffs? Chill, chill, chill. Alright, chat. Gonna end the stream here. Nice talk. You know, leakers are gone. I'm gonna retire. Goodbye. No Plunderer and Wuwa. EOS. And that's all I have for you guys today.